LTN Hour. Let's talk NASCAR with your host, Todd Bailing, co-hosts Brian Schmidt, PJ Noodleman, and producer Dangerous Dan Margetta. Call the show anytime at 414-421-7901. And now, the creator and host of the fastest hour in radio, Todd Bailing.
Well, if you didn't like that race, I cannot imagine what it takes for you to love a race. The racing at Atlanta last night was fantastic. What do you mean you thought Atlanta was today? You mean you missed the race last night? Come on. Hello there, Todd Bailing in beautiful Greendale, Wisconsin, joined by my three partners in crime, spread out over the good old state of Wisconsin. Brian Schmidt in Utzberg, Wisconsin. Boy, that was a hell of a show, wasn't it?
That was, yeah. I mean, it's not often I turn off dirt racing to watch NASCAR, but I watched the Outlaw feature at Cedar Lake and flipped to the NASCAR race before something else started, and I couldn't not stop watching it. So I had to watch the whole last 60 laps of it. That was as good as it gets for NASCAR racing right there. And I know it's, a little gimmicky because it's plate racing, or what we used to call plate racing, now drafting racing. But still, the fact that they were able to run those last 40 to 60 laps without wrecking and do the breathtaking moves that they did, that's what we want to see out of, drafting type racing.
Absolutely. PJ, over in Trempealeau, Wisconsin, of the famous racing Noodleman family. Hello, Peach.
Good morning. Excited for the day. And yeah, that was a pretty darn good race last night. Excited for Slinger tonight.
Yes, as a matter of fact, pretty exciting right there. Speaking of which, the guy who will be televising on Flow tonight, Dan Margetta. Where the hell did you wake up today, Dan?
I'm in the Wisconsin Dells area. I was at the Life for 5 race last night working it, and we stayed overnight. I stayed here actually at the casino at Ho-Chunk, so that's where I'm at in the morning. I'm headed here for Slinger for tonight, and I did get to see the end of the race last night, and I thought it's the same thing. I put it on, and I couldn't turn it off as well. So
it was amazing. It was the first of 5 races that will be televised by TNT, but there's another half to it, / True TV. Now, I don't know if True TV is on everybody's cable or satellite system. I know it's on direct, but they had different coverages, which was pretty interesting. TNT had your regular talking heads and announcers and all that goes with that. But True TV had kind of like offhanded barstool analysis from Jeff Burton and Larry Mack, which I thought was it was nice to have a choice between the two because, when you get sick of hearing one, you can try the other one out. And that was good. You still saw the race, which is what it's all about. I have to say I'm not a big fan of rain delays. And we did have one last night. By the way, believe it or not, Chase Elliott. And what a great race for that young man. Did he put on a show at the end of that race? He did what he had to do. And of all people to beat Brad Keselowski, who really, he got shuffled back to fourth a couple times in the last couple of laps. And I thought, well, it was nice while it lasted, but this guy's going to get kicked out of here. And he was able to pass under green and go to the front. It was really amazing. And I thought he had this thing wrapped up until Chase came by and really made a show out of it. Average speed 111.792 miles an hour. It was the 20th career win for Chase Elliott. There were 21 cars on the lead lap at the end. 28 of them were running at the end of the race of the 6 cars that started.
40 started yesterday.
40. I didn't even see that. 40. Nice. That's something unusual right there. Since this program was on last week, we have 2 new winners. We only made our picks for last week, not thinking that this might actually be a Saturday night race the next week. We all got them all wrong last week. But Chase Briscoe and Chase Elliott, the Chases, made the chase. We've had these 2 new winners. Now there's 12. Only 4 cars are going to make it on points. Reddick looks like a cinch with plus 128. But, Brian, after that, I don't know. It still looks pretty good. Bubba, in the final transfer position, needs to stop having DNFs, would you say?
Yeah, he's 23 to the good. Ryan Preece is 23 out. Eric Jones, 49 out. I mean, some of these names that are out. Carson Hocevar, who's been running really good, who one would think he's going to win a race here. He's 62 out. Kyle Busch, 72 out. Stenhouse, when he's not feuding with Hocevar, he's 73 out. Brad Keselowski, I mean, look how he took the white flag leading the race yesterday. He's 122 out. He really needed that win last night. Yeah. Bummer that he didn't get it for his sake. So a lot of guys that need to get some wins here, but the courses and tracks we have to finish the rest of the regular season is quite interesting too.
That's what I was going to say. You got some really wild card races coming up to finish out the regular season, and we got 12 winners already. I mean, could we have 16 winners this year?
Oh my. Yeah, it's possible. Hey, with a couple of road courses coming up, maybe old SVG, who right now is the last winner in points, will be able to increase himself a little bit there and move up the seeding ladder. Keselowski ended up second. Bowman was third. He was also in a position to win that thing. Reddick fourth. Eric Jones, what a great race. He showed up at the end and really kind of muscled his way in there. Stenhouse had a good race in sixth. Zane Smith was very impressive young man. I don't know, is he overachieving in that 38 car? I kind of think he is, but he's always had some talent, and we're getting to see it a little bit now. Ty Dillon was eighth, and he gets out and he says, "I beat your favorite driver last night," because that's what Denny Hamlin says. It was that seeding thing. I can't help but think the announcers are the only ones that really care about that. Yeah. We're not going to go through it. We're not going to tell you how the seeds went. We're not going to tell you how the brackets are going. We don't really care. I mean, it's a nice. What do they win? $1 million at the end of this thing?
Yeah, and you're supposed to fill out like a bracket like they do for college basketball, and a lot of your betting sites have that, and you can get part of it. But then you have your first race on a drafting track like this, which is such a wild card, and everybody's bracket got busted anyways because they had a big wreck early on, and I think 9 of the season's winners already were involved in that. So,
yep.
Four cars in the whole race didn't get involved in a wreck, and Elliott was one of them.
There you go. 46 lead changes among 13 drivers, and let me tell you, if you did miss that race, you missed a dandy. There were 10 cautions for 68 laps, which is 26% of the race. There were 2 reds. The first one was for 15 minutes for rain. The second was 9 minutes for a wreck. Gran Turismo was on TV at the same time as this, and I really hate rain delays, so I was watching Gran Turismo. Thank goodness my buddy Dave Schmalzer called it. Hey, you want to put the race back on? Oh, good. I didn't miss too much of it, but man alive, it was fun to watch. If you would like to comment on anything you saw last night or want to catch up on anything we're talking about, you can call us at 414-421-7901 anytime during the program, and Matt will talk to you first, and you'll be able to talk with us. They also raced the Xfinity Series Friday night at Atlanta. Nick Sanchez wins that thing.
That race
I have to admit, I was sleeping at the end.
That race was Friday night, but it ended Saturday morning.
Yeah, that's how that works sometimes. The Trucks raced a road course race at Lime Rock yesterday. Corey Heim, you keep hearing his name. He's the man in that series, apparently. But the defending champion, Ty Majeski, was second in that race yesterday. I think as notable as can be, our own Josh Bilicki was in a pretty good truck and had a pretty damn good finish. Finished seventh in that thing, and way to go, Josh. That's it. We always knew he was a road course guy, and if he had a decent truck, he might be able to do something. And we got a chance to see that yesterday. So good for you, Josh. That's what we wanted to hear. The Atlanta race was last night, and we'll talk a little more about that. Plus, there are things going on right now, which we'll catch up on. We're glad you're tuned in. We're going to take a break and be right back.
Put some excitement into your weekend with short track racing and fireworks this Sunday night at the Slinger Super Speedway. It's the Progress Manufacturing Independence Day Celebration Firecracker 100. A 100-lap super late model feature and racing from 6 action-packed divisions, including those wild and crazy figure 8s. Affordable family fun. Kids 5 and under are free, and it's just $40 for a family of 5. Qualifying at 5, racing at 6:30 p.m., and fireworks at dusk this Sunday night at the Slinger Super Speedway.
As a growing manufacturing company, we needed security solutions. We chose Bonafide because of the services they offer, pricing, and trusted reputation. But it's their outstanding service and support that convinced us we made the right choice with Bonafide.
When businesses need security, they contact Bonafide Security Solutions. From locks and alarms to safes and surveillance, we do it all. We are Bonafide. We protect what you value. For your free security survey, call us today or visit bonafidesafe.com.
The summer heat is on, and PMF Landscape Supply in West Bend has everything you need with fresh mulch arriving daily. From premium hardwood mulch to hemlock and pine bark to EnviroMulch in red, gold, chocolate brown, and black colors. PMF also has a large variety of decorative stone and granite, as well as field stone, topsoil, and compost. For all your landscaping needs, visit PMF Landscape Supply, 5470 River Road in West Bend. Call 262-338-8800. Or visit pmflandscape.com. Friends of racing for many years. PMF Landscape Supply in West Bend.
Chimney Mechanics installs and services wood, natural gas, propane, pellet stoves, and chimneys. We service all of Wisconsin, the UP, and Northern Illinois. We repair all brands and all models of fireplaces, no matter where you bought it. We do custom chimney caps, liners, chimney fire repairs, water and stonework, water leak repairs, and replacement dampers. We do new construction and insurance work. No job is too big or too small. ChimneyMechanics.com. That's Chimney Mechanics with an X. Check us out on Facebook.
This is The Herd.
Wow, 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 wow.
With Colin Cowherd.
Aaron loves to make people think he's a mystery, and the media can't figure him out. And he does that because it invalidates us. And we're the one group of people he can't control. He's worshipped by football people. He's loved by teammates. The one group he can't control, us.
This is The Herd. The Herd with Colin Cowherd. Weekdays at 11 on Fox Sports 920.
I assume you heard that Chimney Mechanics spot we just ran. They're having a summer special for LTN listeners. Hello. It's the best time to schedule a chimney inspection before the fall rush comes on. Any LTN listener, call and schedule between now and August 1st. You get $25 off your chimney inspection. So thanks to Jasper and our friends over at Chimney Mechanics. Pretty neat deal. Go ahead. Mention LTN. We'd love it if you did. The Zillish factor is out there. Believe it. Connor Zillish ran the race at Atlanta yesterday. His first time in that car at that track. Finished 11th, which is impressive enough for a first timer. But here's what else you need to remember. This week, Daniel Suarez was interviewed. And he kept stressing that his contract is up in the air for next year and beyond. And there are things that have to be, boxes that need to be checked. And we're really working hard. And I really love my guys. And I really love this team. And I love. At the same time, Connor Zillish is kind of, I wouldn't say like warming up in a bullpen. He's just kind of sitting in the good seats right now, kind of watching everything what's happening. And if Suarez was to win a race and make the playoffs, or I'd like to call it the chase instead of the playoffs because it really isn't the playoff. But if he can make the chase, things might change for him a little bit. But right now, that Zillish factor is real, and Suarez better do something, and he's a very popular driver. He's a very nice young man. He can get the job done. He's done it a couple of times already. But, boy, oh boy, having Zillish sitting there waiting has got to make anybody nervous, would you say, guys?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, you always got to look over your shoulder there, especially when you got somebody coming up like that. Now, the question is, do you bring Zillish up that quickly if you can, or do you like maybe have another year in Xfinity Series? I mean, they kind of brought SVG up a little too quickly after his win at Chicago, and things haven't gone all that great. Although he did his job, he won his one race to get into the playoffs, which Suarez hasn't done yet. So I think you got to look at that factor too. Is Zillish really ready? He's looking good in the Xfinity race, and he's run good in his Cup races. But is he ready for a full Cup schedule? If he's not, and they can keep him down in Xfinity for you, then you don't have a problem. You got both your drivers. But if you're going to bring him up, you got to get rid of one of 99 or 88, and right now it looks like 99 is the guy that's not in the playoffs, so he's kind of on the hot seat.
I feel like they try to rush guys up so quick, though, and I think that that's a detriment.
Back in the day, PJ, it seemed like we had the luxury. I mean, a 24, 25-year-old driver was considered young back. Earnhardt was Rookie of the Year at what, 29, I think, Dan? Something like that. So think about that. But all Suarez has to do is win a race, and then they'll say, yeah, we think Connor Zilisch could probably use another year in Xfinity to, hone his skills and whatever. But right now,
another thing to look at is, what is NASCAR going to do schedule-wise next year? I know you're not going to base your driver roster off of a schedule, but if they're going to go back to Mexico City next year, I think it would behoove Trackhouse to keep, Suarez around for another year because he is the star of the show when they were there a couple weeks ago. If they're not, well, then it'd probably be a little easier to move on maybe to the next guy. I know one race shouldn't make a difference, but there's a lot to say about what his star power was when they raced there a couple weeks ago.
I agree with that, but I have I have something to consider here. We in America are very spoiled that we can go to our tap water and have make coffee with it and not expect to spend the next 2 weeks in the bathroom. I was going to say but that probably wasn't the right choice. This Montezuma's revenge thing is real. There are many, not just one or two, many people, and you're not hearing this, folks. You didn't hear this anywhere. They're trying to downplay this. Many people are still recovering 2 weeks later from Montezuma's revenge, which is what the water will bring us in Mexico. There are still people that are sick. There were people sick during the race. There were people doing things in their driver's suits that we really can't even refer to without wanting to go, oh, my God, you got to be kidding me. So I'm going to say right now that we're not going to go back to Kansas anymore, to Mexico City next year. It may have been a success for some things, but between logistics and all the other issues, not the least of which, you got to hope that the Steve Phelps and the gang all have Montezuma's revenge, and then we'll get over this great idea of going to Mexico City. It was nice. We did it. It's over and done with. Let's move on.
One would hope so.
I feel better now.
And that's where San Diego would come in. You're kind of right there on the Mexican border now. Granted, you're thousands and thousands of miles away from Mexico City, but you could still tap into some of that market being over there if you were to run in San Diego next year, which is what there's been talk about.
Yeah, Tijuana is a little different market. You ever been to Tijuana, Brian?
No, I have not been in Mexico. I've heard things, and that's why I'm staying in the U.S.
You don't have to be afraid. You can go over there, but there are things that young military guys see once in their entire lifetime. They talk about it till the day they die, too. But
oh boy,
that's neither here nor there. So Ford kicked everybody's asses yesterday in qualifying for that Atlanta race. I don't know if you caught it. The top 8 spots in last night's Atlanta race were Ford's. They were good one lap at a time, and there was actually a tie to the thousandth of a second between Josh Berry and Joey Logano. They have a tiebreaker. I thought it was the first car to do the lap. Got it. That's what it is on short tracks. It's not what it is for NASCAR. This is the major leagues. We come up with tiebreakers. And so Joey Logano started from the pole, but he didn't last long.
Yeah, but during the race, I think towards the end, I thought the Fords were pretty strong. I mean, especially the Roush Fords with Keselowski and Buescher. I mean, they pretty much held the front of that field up until the very end there. And then Zane Smith came in there in the front row Ford, and I thought they really had something to go. But then at the end, Chase Elliott and Chevy just whooped right by them, So I mean, I wonder how much strategy was going on in that race beforehand, and how much blocking was Buescher doing to keep that 6 car out front, and then they finally got him out of the way and were able to pass him. So the Fords looked strong until it counted, then the Chevy come up and win.
It was a good day for Roush freaking Keselowski Racing. They needed a shot in the arm, and a win would have been better. We're glad you tuned in. We'll sneak away for a break, and we'll be right back.
From racing engines to street engines, long blocks to turnkey packages, or complete custom engines. Just ask and Wagner Automotive can fill your needs. All backed by many years of racing experience. These years of experience have provided reliability and performance that customers need to win races. Wagner's has been building championship winning engines for top teams from NASCAR to short tracks in your backyard. This expertise has carried over to street engines they supply to top custom car builders. The Wagner Company in the heart of Wisconsin is outfitted with the state-of-the-art machinery necessary to design, manufacture, build, and test custom engines and their accessory parts. Dyno services are independently available for anyone needed to test their engine. Wagner's Company can also provide you or your company with production CNC machining or welding services. All your questions and requests are handled personally by Casey Wagner. Just give us a call at 920-394-3557 or visit our website at WagnerAutomotive.com.
Miller Sales and Service of Random Lake is where to go for a trailer no matter what you're hauling. Tom and Jerry Miller have been selling trailers from B&B, Trophy, and Bravo for over 50 years. Quality and integrity is what put them on the map on the corner of 57 and K since 1939. Home of the number 89 dirt and asphalt cars of Brad Miller. That's Miller Sales and Service. It's where to go for a trailer just 20 minutes north of Milwaukee. Call them 920-994-4358.
As a growing manufacturing company, we needed security solutions. We chose Bonafide because of the services they offer, pricing, and trusted reputation. But it's their outstanding service and support that convinced us we made the right choice with Bonafide.
When businesses need security, they contact Bonafide Security Solutions. From locks and alarms to safes and surveillance, we do it all. We are Bonafide. We protect what you value. For your free security survey, call us today or visit bonafidesafe.com.
Put some excitement into your weekend with short track racing and fireworks this Sunday night at the Slinger Super Speedway. It's the Progress Manufacturing Independence Day Celebration Firecracker 100. A 100-lap super late model feature and racing from 6 action-packed divisions, including those wild and crazy figure eights. Affordable family fun. Kids 5 and under are free, and it's just $40 for a family of 5. Qualifying at 5, racing at 6:30 p.m., and fireworks at dusk this Sunday night at the Slinger Super Speedway.
What has a lake, superb food and drink, and the biggest variety of music on the planet? Yep, it's Summerfest 2025.
Milwaukee's lakefront, cold beer, live music, there's nothing better.
For 3 weekends, June 19th through 21st, June 26th through 28th, and July 3rd through 5th, thousands of festive souls listen to music from over 600 artists on 9 different stages. Go for the sun, music, food, and to watch the people, or go to be watched by other people. Check out the schedule and more at summerfest.com.
Welcome back to the program. We're going to have a special guest on at the bottom of the hour. You're going to want to make sure you tune in for Ernie Irvin, who will be joining us. So I don't know if anybody out there that's a listener to this program know the name TJ Puker or Pooker or Poocher or Pucker. I never heard of him. It's an odd spelling with a CHYR on there. This apparently was one of the owners of Spire Racing, and he has, I don't know, did they pay him something to leave? I'm not sure. But
he was one of the founding people of Spire. Him and I think it was Jeff Dickerson, right? The two that did it. They bought the front, was it Furniture Roll charter because they couldn't sell it, so they bought it for themselves and hoped to start the team. They did that. It became Spire. Last year, TJ sold his shares of Spire to Dan Torres, which is the Gamebridge guy. That brought that's part of the Andretti deal, part of the whole TMG Motorsports. They got hands in everything on that. So he was out of Spire that way. He sold his shares, and he was consulting with Rick Ware Racing and Legacy Motorsports. And then this whole thing about charters came around. Where they had this deal with Legacy, said we're going to buy a charter from Rick Ware. Then Rick Ware didn't want to sell it, so they were going to sue each other because Rick Ware already leases the charter to Roush, and they have another deal next year to lease the charter too. So now TJ's coming in and going to buy the whole deal, Rick Ware Racing, and say we're going to keep all the charters.
Yeah, how about that? This TJ Pooker guy is going to buy Rick Ware, and he's going to keep Rick Ware on as a minority partner. They are going to keep part of the deal, apparently, is keeping Cody Ware as the driver. How long that'll last, I'm not sure. But this Pooker dude wants a 3-car team. They have one charter right now with Cody Ware, this 51. They've leased the other one, or is it 15, Dan? I don't even know.
They have the 51. They leased the 15 to the 60 car.
The 60 car is using one of their leases.
Right, but you can only use it for 1 year. You can't do it more than 1 year. So next year they're going to have to find another charter. When the deal was in place, we were going to lease the 51 charter, and you can have the 15 back.
So what's going to happen is next year, apparently, because of an agreement, they're going to switch the charters. Whatever the 15 or 51 is being used by 60 now, supposedly, are going to get switched next year. And the 60 will have a charter for 1 more year. At least that's what I read this week, Dan. If that doesn't happen, that
was the original deal. Now nobody seems to know now, because they're going to keep both of them. What's going to go on with that one? And they had a deal to lease another charter, but who knows? Just like Legacy claims they had a deal to buy a charter. So.
Isn't that just crazy? So Roush Fenway will lose the 60 car after next season. Legacy was counting on getting another charter, so that deal is put on hold. So this Pooker dude is going to keep 2 charters, and he's looking to buy a 3rd charter.
Right.
At the end of the day, who gets rich out of this deal? The lawyers. They always get rich.
And think about it.
We've already been to court between Legacy and RFK, right, Dan?
Right, and the last sale that TJ was a part of was the one from the Live Fast 58 car. Inspire paid like $40 million for that. Remember, it was the highest one ever. And he claims these charters are worth more, that they're worth $75 million, which has to sound great to NASCAR on the antitrust lawsuit with 2311 in front row, because that's been their argument that said that you guys aren't as poor or as you say you are. Your charters are worth way more.
Financially strapped, as you're trying to tell us you are. The timing seems to be very strange to me, that we're talking about this and we're throwing numbers like 75 million a charter around as we are going through this court case with 2311. I just can't imagine how this is going to affect things. And by the way, Dan, I don't think there was anything since last week, was there, in the court system?
No, not really. I mean, there's still NASCAR is trying to get the financials from all the other teams that already signed the agreement, because they want to use that in their case, and the teams don't want to give them that. They said, well, they kind of came up with a plan to give them like an aggregate. They want to know what your profits are, what you're spending on this, what you're getting from kind of outside of racing. I think some of these technical alliances and that. They said that they would give them like an aggregate thing, but wouldn't specifically put it per team what it was. Nobody wants to release their financials. NASCAR wants
including NASCAR.
Including NASCAR.
Especially NASCAR. NASCAR could see that it was probably going to have to happen, that they were going to have to open their books. So what do? They have smarter lawyers than the other lawyers, apparently. Let's turn it on them. Let's make everybody turn. Well, these other guys aren't part of the lawsuit, so there'll be all kinds of pressure from the other teams. Hey, I don't want to do this. What the hell are you doing? Get on board with us. Let's settle out of court and get it over with, which is what NASCAR really wants to happen.
Mm-hmm.
It's about the lawyers. Those lawyer shows, boy. You thought that was just made up stuff. They actually come up with some of this great strategy. They sit around in their fancy suits and they make up strategy sessions like this. It's absolutely amazing what they're going to come up with. Either way, Legacy will not be. If Legacy or Roush Fenway wants to expand their teams, they are going to have to bid against this Pooker dude now for another charter, because he's already come out and said he wants one. Roush wants one. Legacy wants one. What does that do? It's a supply and demand thing. We all know what happens. All of a sudden, Mr. Puker here, he was right. These things might be worth $75 million apiece.
What happens to the Stewart-Haas ones that were supposedly bought by 2311 in front row? That right now, Latest Injunction says that you can't run as a charter team. They may be out there.
Oh my God!
It's just a big mess. It really is.
and at the end of the day, who gets rich but the lawyers?
Yep.
We got Ernie Irvin going to be on with us, and when we come back from this break, we hope you tune in.
No racing at the Fair Park in Plymouth this week. Action resumes on Saturday, July the 12th with sprint cars, Dirt Devil Grand Nationals, B-Mods, late models, and vintage mods, and the annual Wall of Fame ceremony honoring persons who contributed so much to the success of racing at the Fair Park. This season's moving quickly. Don't miss a race. Great racing. We'll see you there.
Miller Sales and Service of Random Lake is where to go for a trailer, no matter what you're hauling. Tom and Jerry Miller have been selling trailers from B&B, Trophy, and Bravo for over 50 years. Quality and integrity is what put them on the map on the corner of 57 and K since 1939. Home of the number 89 dirt and asphalt cars of Brad Miller. That's Miller Sales and Service. It's where to go for a trailer, just 20 minutes north of Milwaukee. Call them 920-994-4358.
The summer heat is on, and PMF Landscape Supply in West Bend has everything you need with fresh mulch arriving daily. From premium hardwood mulch to hemlock and pine bark to EnviroMulch in red, gold, chocolate brown, and black colors. PMF also has a large variety of decorative stone and granite, as well as field stone, topsoil, and compost. For all your landscaping needs, visit PMF Landscape Supply, 5470 River Road in West Bend. Call 262-338-8800 or visit pmflandscape.com. Friends of racing for many years. PMF Landscape Supply in West Bend.
Chimney Mechanics installs and services wood, natural gas, propane, pellet stoves, and chimneys. We service all of Wisconsin, the UP, and Northern Illinois. We repair all brands and all models of fireplaces, no matter where you bought it. We do custom chimney caps, liners, chimney fire repairs, water and stonework, water leak repairs, and replacement dampers. We do new construction and insurance work. No job is too big or too small. ChimneyMechanics.com. That's Chimney Mechanics with an X. Check us out on Facebook.
Right now, the Dan Patrick Show.
Dan Patrick.
Flag football, I don't get this. The NFL was really proactive in getting flag football into the LA Olympics. If I'm the Dolphins owner, am I letting Tyreek Hill play? No. Am I going to let Joe Burrow play? No.
The Dan Patrick Show.
Dan and the Danettes and you.
The Dan Patrick Show. Weekdays at 8 a.m. on Fox Sports 920.
One of our favorite drivers of all time, now currently retired and living in Florida, Ernie Irvin joins us right now. It's been a little while. We probably had you on the last time when Ed Kaluka died, Ernie. It was a friend of yours, but welcome back. We love you. We're glad you took a little time to be on with us.
Well, thank you. I always love to get in touch with the people up in Wisconsin.
Yeah, where you raced before at Madison, at Slinger, and had a good time too, if I remember right.
Yep.
This week, we found out that Larry McClure died. Kids that are new to the sport may not know the name, but Morgan McClure Motorsports raced over 700 races in Cup racing, and they had 14 wins over the years. 3 Daytona 500s, and of course Ernie drove for them for one of those Daytona 500s in that yellow Kodak number 4 car. I was there, one of the more memorable races I've ever seen, and it had to kind of hit you pretty hard to have to find out that Larry passed away.
It really did. Me and Larry kind of had a bad split up with me going to the 28 car, but Larry was a good person, a dedicated racer, and all he wanted to do is win races. And that's why he hired me. That's why I hired Sterling and had Rump Pittman and also Tony Glover. And so he was a racer, and that's what he wanted to do, and that's what he loved to do. He was able to do it, and I don't know a lot of the details about his passing away, but it's just sad. The whole McClure family. I knew all of them, and it's a shame.
I have to tell you, I wondered how you got hooked up with Morgan McClure Racing. That's one thing I thought about this week. I know you were there, but how did you happen to get the ride?
Well, they had Sterling Marlin driving. No, I'm sorry. they had Phil Parsons driving when the season started in 1989, and so they ran a couple 3 races, and they decided they wanted to make a change, and Tony Glover called me and said, "Hey, would you be interested in testing the car at Atlanta?" I says, "Well, yeah, heck yeah." I had nothing because I drive for Jimmy Dunleavy, and his sponsorship fell through. So just things, turned the right way, and I went and tested, and everything went really good, and so I got the ride for the first race, and it ended up running, I think, 4th or 5th. Had a really good run, and so they ended up signing me for 2 or 3 years.
Phil Parsons, that was a hell of an upgrade, you over Phil Parsons right there alone. Sorry to say that, Phil, but how many races did you win in that 4-car?
I think I was 6 or 7.
Okay.
Yeah, I know.
So they were a good team.
I totaled 15, and so I won 6 or 7 in the 28 car. So, however it adds up.
Yeah, it seemed like it was a good team that just needed the last spoke on the wheel was a driver, and putting you in that car was what it took.
Yeah,
cool.
Yeah, and I mean, again, it was a great race team. Good sponsor with Kodak, and they had everything they needed. The one downfall, they were up in Abington, Virginia, which wasn't the circle of NASCAR now. At the time, it was all right. It ended up not being where you could get good people.
Damn shame right there. Although Abington, Virginia, I don't know what that's close to because I don't really know my Virginia very well.
Not too far from Bristol, I think, right?
Bristol, yeah, right out of Bristol.
Okay. All right. Well, I didn't know much about him. Just basically reading, found out that Morgan, which is Tim Morgan, was the other half of the team there.
Yep.
Between Morgan and McClure, they owned a bunch of car dealerships in Virginia.
In fact, I think, Bernie, I think your first one was at Bristol for them, wasn't it?
What's that?
Your first win came at Bristol, I think, right? Was it for Morgan McClure?
At Bristol, their home track, and their first win, my first win. So it was a pretty big party that night.
Ernie, the first time I met you, I was introduced to you by Scott Kluka. You were driving, if I remember right, it was a number 56 car, and it was sponsored by Dale Earnhardt Chevrolet.
Yep.
You remember that?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I mean, how could you forget that? It was, obviously when I first started driving NASCAR, and, ended up, Ken Schrader got to Earnhardt and said, "Hey, why don't you sponsor this car? Because you open a new Chevrolet dealership, and what better advertisement?" And and so Dale had knew me, and Mark Reno, was the one that had done a lot of stuff for Dale, and so it ended up working out, and was able to put his name on the side of our car, and we had to use that as our sponsorship, and that was take his name and turn it into money, basically. And it was the smartest thing we ever did.
That was at Charlotte, right?
That was what?
That was at Charlotte?
Well, the first race was at Richmond, and that was the car we had painted like our normal short track car. And then Dale said, I'll sponsor you again, but you got to paint the car and put my signature on the side. And so we did that. And he wanted it silver and black, and we put his autograph on the side of the car, and that's what he wanted, and that's what he got.
Ernie, it's great touching base with you again. It's been a while. We always think about you. I miss having you in a race car. You probably don't miss it that much, but I miss seeing you in a race car. And our best to you, and I hope everything's going good.
Okay, thank you.
All right. The great Ernie Irvan from his home in Florida. We're going to sneak away. We got some results for you when we come back.
IndyCar is back at the Milwaukee Mile August 23rd and 24th. The Snap-on Milwaukee Mile 250 weekend features a high-stakes NTT IndyCar Series race on Sunday, and the free fan zone will be buzzing with energy all weekend long. Don't miss out on the non-stop action. Get your tickets now at wistatefair.com for an electrifying IndyCar experience at the Snap-on Milwaukee Mile 250 weekend, August 23rd and 24th.
As a growing manufacturing company, we needed security solutions. We chose Bonafide because of the services they offer, pricing, and trusted reputation. But it's their outstanding service and support that convinced us we made the right choice with Bonafide.
When businesses need security, they contact Bonafide Security Solutions. From locks and alarms to safes and surveillance, we do it all. We are Bonafide. We protect what you value. For your free security survey, call us today or visit bonafidesafe.com.
The summer heat is on, and PMF Landscape Supply in West Bend has everything you need with fresh mulch arriving daily. From premium hardwood mulch to hemlock and pine bark to EnviroMulch in red, gold, chocolate brown, and black colors. PMF also has a large variety of decorative stone and granite, as well as field stone, topsoil, and compost. For all your landscaping needs, visit PMF Landscape Supply, 5470 River Road in West Bend. Call 262-338-8800. Or visit pmflandscape.com. Friends of racing for many years. PMF Landscape Supply in West Bend.
It's the social event of the summer at America's National Park of Speed, Road America, July 17th to 20th. It's WeatherTech Vintage Weekend with Brian Redmond, featuring the historic cars of Formula One, an exclusive U.S. Road Racing Championship Invitational, comedian Adam Carolla, and a special Concours d'Elegance on Friday and Saturday along the streets of Elk Park Lake. WeatherTech Vintage Weekend with Brian Redmond, July 17th to 20th at Road America, celebrating 70 years as America's National Park of Speed. Details and tickets at roadamerica.com.
The Wisconsin Athletic Hall of Fame welcomes the class of 2025, Mason Crosby.
This to send the Packers into the NFC Championship game. It is good! The Packers are moving on! Mason Crosby, a hero for Green Bay.
Crosby spent 16 years in Green Bay, becoming one of the most accomplished kickers in NFL history.
I couldn't have done any of this without my teammates, without my family.
They're going to try a field goal from 58 yards away, 56 a career best. And it is good by Mason Crosby.
The 75th anniversary induction ceremony for the Wisconsin Athletic Hall of Fame, presented by Network Health, will be held July 24th at the Baird Center. This year's class also includes Joe Thomas and Ernie Johnson. For more information and tickets, go to WIHallOfFame.com.
And now the LTN Hour presents Dirt on the Dirt with Brian Schmidt.
Another busy summer week of dirt track racing across the country will start Tuesday up in Eagle River, Wisconsin. The USRA Limited Lates were the headliners. Zach Frisky was your winner. The IMCA Stock Cars, Hot Rod Snellenberger picked up the feature win. Also Tuesday night in Springfield, Missouri, the UMP Summer Nationals continued their month-long grind. Tyler Erb picked up the win there. No racing Wednesday night with the Summer Nationals getting rained out at Tri-Cities, but they picked it back up again Thursday in Macon, Illinois, at the little 5th Mile Oval for the UMP Summer Nationals Herald and Review 100. And 16-year-old Trey Mills from Florida picked up the win there, passing Brandon Shepard on the last lap. That's an upset to pick up the win in that one. Also Thursday night in Wheatland, Missouri, at the Lucas Oil Speedway, the High Limit Sprint Car Racing Series was there. Aaron Reitzel grabbed the win. Friday night at Chilton's Gravity Park in the modified, Steve Miller was your winner. Stock Cars was Tyler Wilson. Grand Nationals went to Jeff Muehlbauer. Seymour, the Outagamie County Speedway, and the late models, Mike Mullen was your winner. The IMCA modifieds was Skylar Woods. Luxembourg in the IMCA modifieds, Benji Lacrosse was your winner. The Stock Cars went to Luke Lemons. Fountain City, Wisconsin at the Mississippi Thunder Speedway, the USRA modifieds, Jacob Bleese was your winner, and the USRA Limited Lates went to Steve O'Brien Jr. Winchester, Indiana on the pavement for the normally dirt track USAC Silver Crown Series, the Rich Vogler Classic. Cody Swanson won his 4th in a row at Winchester. Farmer City, Illinois, the UMP Summer National feature winner was Jason Fager. Grand Forks, North Dakota at the River City Speedway for the World of Outlaw Great American Beer Late Model Series. The feature winner out there was Nick Hoffman. Bloomington, Indiana, the IRA 410 Sprint Car Series winner was Max Guilford. New Richmond, Wisconsin, Cedar Lake Speedway hosted the World of Outlaw NOS Engineering Sprint Car Series. David Gravel picked up the win there. And at Wheatland, Missouri, Friday night number 2 for the High Limit Sprint Car Series, Rico Abreu was your winner. Last night at Plymouth, in the late models, Taylor Scheffler was your winner. The MSA 360 Sprints went to Brandon Berth. And the Dirt Devil Grand National Series had another one of their rounds. Jeff Speedmergen was your winner. Started 10th on that. So who says you can't pass on the dirt? Steenbergen won from 10th, and Will Source was second. He started 11th. Shawano last night in the IMSA Modifieds, Connor Walensky was your winner. Stock cars was Vern Stengy. Francis Crick's 141 Speedway, the Modifieds, Jesse Cullen. Stock cars was Cole Sarneski. Rice Lake, the USRA Limited Lates, Cade Nelson was your winner, and the Modifieds was Blake Adams. Ashland for the Wissota Modifieds, Neil Baldock was your winner. The IRA was in Quincy, Michigan at the Butler Motor Speedway. Joel Myers Jr. grabbed the win there in a thrilling win over Tim Schaefer. Night number 2 at Cedar Lake for the World of Outlaw Sprint Cars. Carson Macedo grabbed the win there. Fremont, Ohio, the USAC Amsoil National Sprint Car Series, Justin Grant was your winner. Back at Lucas Oil Speedway in Wheatland, Missouri, the final night of the High Limit Sprint Cars there, Tyler Courtney was your winner. Highland, Illinois, the UMP Summer Nationals, $10,000 to win went to Jason Fagler. And finally, in Ada, Minnesota, the Norman County Raceway for the World of Outlaw Real American Beer Late Model Series, $12,000 to win. Nick Hoffman made it a clean sweep, winning both. And that is everything for this week.
On to asphalt we go. Last Sunday at Slinger, it was postponed or canceled due to the heat. WIR on Thursday night got rained out. Friday up at Norway Speedway, your super late model winner was Joey Pontbrand in his Toby car. Grundy County Speedway super late model feature winner Stan Zolitz. Golden Sands Speedway pro late model winner was Brady Bill. Down in Pensacola at Five Flags, the Southern Super Series was running. Cole Butcher was your winner. Stephen Nassy third. He will be at the Nationals. And Bubba Pollard sixth. I don't think he'll be at the Nationals.
I don't know.
Yeah, and Cole Butcher already said he had a previous engagement in Canada. Yesterday and last night, Grundy County Speedway, the Big 8 late model feature. Michael Bilderback wins that one. 4th straight win at Grundy for Bilderback.
Wow.
Marshfield Motor Speedway, super late model winner was Jared DeBoer. Jefferson Speedway last night, late model winner was Stephen Scheel. At the Dells, the Alive for 5. Round 2, the 602 feature winner was Bobby Wilberg. Super lates, Casey Johnson, who will be there at...
Go back.
He'll be back at Slinger, but not racing, right?
Yeah, he's going to be at the track tonight, but he's not racing.
He's crew chiefing, I heard, for Grant Griesbach. And helping with several others because he's a racer and doesn't know how to not stay busy. La Crosse Speedway had 2 features last night, 2 twin 20s. Mike Carlson was the winner of the first and Adam Benzik the second. Elko Speedway also had twin features last night for their NASCAR late models. Grant Brown was the first winner and Chris Merrick the second winner. ARCA ran at Lime Rock, Connecticut, along with the Truck Series. Your winner was Thomas Annunziata. And Slinger... tonight, as we just kind of touched on, has a $5,000 to win super late model event. It's kind of the prelude to the Nationals. Lots of guys entered to that one. Sounds like Luke Fenhouse also has tossed his hat into the ring.
We know so far, Luke, Levon, and Lowell will all be there.
Nice.
Yes, the PMI Firecracker 100. $5,000 to win tonight. And don't forget, Ed'd be proud of me. And fireworks! And then we'll throw it back to Brian Schmidt with some updates from Road America.
Yeah, pretty big event at Road America today. If you have nothing going on, you want to check it out. The Trans Am Series, presented by Pavelli, will be out there. And the TA2 Series is the headliner today. And the TA2 Series has brought up a lot of the stars or young stars from NASCAR. Ty Majeski has won this race. Sam Mayer has won this race. Connor Mosack has won this race. Brett Cruz has won this race a couple times. In this race today, Mike Skeen is on the pole, but Corey Day, a sprint car driver that runs a lot of the high limit stuff and has been dabbling with some of the Xfinity and truck stuff for Hendrick. He's starting outside of the front row in one of the HendrickCar.com's Chevy Camaros today. Another young kid to keep an eye on, Tristan McKee. He's from Kannapolis, North Carolina. He's 14 years old.
Oh, come on.
He won the TA2 race last week at Mid-Ohio, and he's driving one of the Spire Gainbridge Chevy Camaros. and an up-and-comer to keep your eye on. So this race here,
what's his name?
Tristan McKee.
Well, it's a memorable name, but
yeah. So this series has a funny way of bringing stars up at a very young age, and the cars are really cool. They almost look like super late models designed for the road courses. I mean, right, Dan? 27 of them are going to start today. They're a pretty cool thing to see.
They are. They're one of my favorite classes to watch, especially in the road course, because they got to sling them around there. They're a heavier car, and they're pretty cool to watch them going through some of the corners. And like you said, they look like a super late model, a bunch of spoilers on them, and it's a pretty neat class.
Cool
Yep,
stuff.
their race is at 1 o'clock today. Boris Said is also in here. Boris Said's kid's been running this series for the last couple of years, putting the old man in the car. He'll start 16th today. He's in the other HendrickCars.com car. He's in the 60 car. Corey Day is in the 17 car. So if you got nothing to do today, race is at 1 o'clock out at Road America. It's a 100-lap race, 25 laps. So a quick sprint, no pit stops, and really cool to see. So I'll be out there. I'm leaving there as soon as we're done with this show. I'm going to head out there, and we'll see you all there.
We'll sneak away and do a break. We got some other stuff for you. I'll think about Rich Bickle cheering for Boris Said. We'll be right back.
No racing at the Fair Park in Plymouth this week. Action resumes on Saturday, July the 12th with sprint cars, Dirt Devil Grand Nationals, B-Mods, late models, and vintage mods, and the annual Wall of Fame ceremony honoring persons who contributed so much to the success of racing at the Fair Park. This season's moving quickly. Don't miss a race. Great racing. We'll see you there.
IndyCar is back at the Milwaukee Mile August 23rd and 24th. The Snap-on Milwaukee Mile 250 weekend features a high-stakes NTT IndyCar Series race on Sunday, and the free fan zone will be buzzing with energy all weekend long. Don't miss out on the non-stop action. Get your tickets now at WIStatefair.com for an electrifying IndyCar experience at the Snap-on Milwaukee Mile 250 weekend, August 23rd and 24th.
Miller Sales and Service of Random Lake is where to go for a trailer, no matter what you're hauling. Tom and Jerry Miller have been selling trailers from B&B, Trophy, and Bravo for over 50 years. Quality and integrity is what put them on the map on the corner of 57 and K since 1939. Home of the number 89 dirt and asphalt cars of Brad Miller. That's Miller Sales and Service. It's where to go for a trailer, just 20 minutes north of Milwaukee. Call them 920-994-4358.
From racing engines to street engines, long blocks to turnkey packages, or complete custom engines, just ask and Wagner Automotive can fill your needs. All backed by many years of racing experience. These years of experience have provided reliability and performance that customers need to win races. Wagner's has been building championship-winning engines for top teams from NASCAR to short tracks in your backyard. This expertise has carried over to street engines they supply to top custom car builders. The Wagner Company, in the heart of Wisconsin, is outfitted with the state-of-the-art machinery necessary to design, manufacture, build, and test custom engines and their accessory parts. Dyno services are independently available for anyone needed to test their engine. Wagner's Company can also provide you or your company with production CNC machining or welding services. All your questions and requests are handled personally by Casey Wagner. Just give us a call at 920-394-3557 or visit our website at WagnerAutomotive.com.
It's the social event of the summer at America's National Park of Speed, Road America, July 17th to 20th. It's WeatherTech Vintage Weekend with Brian Redmond, featuring the historic cars of Formula One, an exclusive U.S. Road Racing Championship Invitational, comedian Adam Carolla, and a special Concours d'Elegance on Friday and Saturday along the streets of Elk Park Lake. WeatherTech Vintage Weekend with Brian Redmond, July 17th to 20th at Road America, celebrating 70 years as America's National Park of Speed. Details and tickets at roadamerica.com.
This is The Herd.
Wow, 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 wow.
With Colin Cowherd.
You see these anonymous polls the NBA does. Well, the WNBA just did an anonymous poll, and the truth finally came out. Caitlin Clark voted on by general managers the best point guard, the best shooting guard, and the singular player they would start the franchise with.
This is The Herd. The Herd with Colin Cowherd. Weekdays at 11 on Fox Sports 920.
And welcome to the final segment of LTN this week. So I didn't realize that Stevie Reeves quit or retired. He was the spotter for Christopher Bell. When somebody quits or retires kind of out of the blue, that seems to me to be where they were fired. But I don't know that necessarily happened. I do know that last week we told you that Tab Boyd, who had some things to say about Mexico City that weren't very, very popular, got fired. He was the spotter for the 47 car. I think he did himself all right. Tab Boyd is the new spotter for the number 20 car, Christopher Bell. Imagine that. Nice kick upstairs for him, and good for him. That's what we want to hear. TV ratings are in. I have a hard time believing it, actually, that Prime doing the NASCAR races, their time on for their short 5-week spread, for the 5th week, they had a 1.87 million viewership. Fox had the Indy race at Elkhart Lake that only had 781,000, more than double on a streaming site over a network site. And it turns out they missed a hell of a race because it was pretty good. You guys were up there, right?
That's one of the better IndyCar races I've seen anywhere, especially at Road America. Like, that race is racy from the start. Brian, what do you think? I thought there was a ton of passes. I think they set a record, didn't they?
Yes, they did. I'm looking for those stats right now. But, yeah, it was record passes that they've had there, record lead changes that they've had there. I mean, the only other time they had more passes on the track was 2 years ago, the first year of the new pavement. But some of those passes weren't for actual, lead positions. Some of them were just lap cars passing lap cars. But, yeah, it was an incredible race. All the people from IndyCar were impressed with it. Ticket sales were up 42% from the years before. So, I mean, they're doing a lot of good things there. And, IndyCar's got it going on. And it seems to be a little bit more of a on-track thing versus the TV thing. It's one of those things where you got to be there.
So now you got to all come to Milwaukee, right, in a month?
Yeah, absolutely. Yep, Milwaukee's in the end of August. Here, 348 on-track passes last week, 96 passes in the top 10, 29 passes in the top 5, and 9 different leaders. Those were all Indy records, and all but 3 of the 27 starters finished on the lead lap for that race. So that's pretty impressive for IndyCar racing.
You betcha. I kind of feel like a blushing virgin on my wedding night tonight. Okay, so I'm on my 25th husband, the way it turns out. I'll be starting my 40th consecutive season of announcing short track racing in the state of Wisconsin. It's one of my 3 times at Slinger Speedway this year, and looking forward to it. Progress Manufacturing and the 100 lapper for the Firecracker 500. It's on Flow. It's the first time I'll ever be on Flow. I think more people subscribe to Flow than any other of the racing streaming services. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe there's a certain amount of people that pay the big money for dirt track TV. Is that what it's called, Brian?
Dirt Vision and Flow are the top two.
Yeah.
I don't know the exact stats between them, like who has more, but those two are neck and neck atop the live streaming thing. And they both have equal amounts of great racing on them. I mean, Dirt Vision pretty primarily sticks to their World Racing Group cars, which is the World of Outlaws, UMP late models, big block modifieds, all that. Flow kind of takes a lot of the rest, and they're getting more and more into the asphalt racing, which is cool with the Snowball Derby and now Slinger and stuff like that. So great buy. If you're going to buy them, those are the 2 to get.
All right. That's what we like to hear. Headed up to Slinger tonight. I haven't said that very much lately. I'm pretty excited. We're glad you're tuned in. It's a real honor for us to have you and our fantastic loyal fans here on Fox Sports 920, and we love them as much as they love us. And what we want you to remember is that real race cars have doors, even if they do climb in through the windows. Let's Talk NASCAR is produced and directed by Dangerous Dan Margetta. Our engineer is Matt Losey. For all of us, thanks for being here. See ya at Slinger tonight, everybody.
This program has come to you live from multiple locations. Any and all comments expressed on this show do not necessarily express the opinions of this station, its employees, or advertisers. Your comments are always welcome at mail@ltnradionetwork.com. Find us at facebook.com/LTN Radio Network. And thank you for your support since 1985. Tune in again next Sunday morning at 10 a.m. Central Time for the LTN Hour on the LTN Radio Network.